Hello, everybody. Way too close again, of course, because that's the way this camera starts. There we go. That's better. How is everybody doing? Thought I would do a festive Christmas background today. As you know, I'm usually a few minutes late, but today it wasn't intentional. Actually, today I planned on being early. Probably see I'm sweating. Traffic was horrendous in the city. I was not expecting traffic, but I was actually out at a local fish store called The Fish Store, and they agreed to sponsor some substrate for me. Basically, I sell them fish, I buy fish from them, things like that. They're the oldest fish store in Seattle, and so I was running across town with an hour and a half notice, and what took me 17 minutes to get there took me 48 minutes to get home. So, yeah, pardon. And so I came running in and I was like, oh no. But I hope you guys are doing well. We're going to be doing the fish news you probably won't use, which, if you remember, it's just some articles I put together. Tonight, I was thinking that I had exactly an hour because I didn't want to cut Fishroom Fever off. I didn't want to cut James off. But he doesn't go tonight, also. So that was another thing that I was stressing about because I wanted to keep it shorter than last time, which ran 2 hours. So, yeah, just some bits and pieces. The other thing that I was trying to do was this time, and maybe some tech people can talk to me and help my stupidness, but I'm trying to figure out how to stream from my computer when I set the live stream up on my phone earlier and switch, like, use both cameras in the same stream so that I can actually show you guys screenshots on the computer rather than filming the computer. Sometimes filming the computer works because I want to point at things rather than use a mouse, but for clarity's sake and for legibility, now, like, that's why we haven't done any more of those uh, what do you call them, reviews or overviews of the uh, old aquarium hobbyist, tropical fish hobbyist magazine, was because it all got, like, glitchy, garbled. So yeah, in any case, Steel Angus, good news, bad news, fake news, fish news. Here we go. Hey, I didn't claim any of this news is real or fake or anything. I just said it was fish news. Good to see Furloughs in here. Misfits, good to see you, Patrick. Rigel, Chalupa, I hope everybody's doing good. Glassbox Fox, Cody son, what's going on, brother? How's it going, buddy? Thomas, fake name, you're here at the beginning. What the heck? Here, Fishy, Pete, what's going on? Laura, I don't know which way it is, but my wife has me trained to fear anything but Laura, if saying it. Also, let's see here. Von Lurker, yes, the most apt name possibly in the fish fam that you could have. Let's see, Tennessee Water or H2O. I need a dab. Muppet. Okay, we got lots of good people in here. Got to go to school, huh, Pete? All right, well, have a jolly good day down in Perth. Isabel, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Sandy, good to see you as well. Ian, what's going on? No worries. I know you were going to get a hold of me. Ian Atkins Nature Aquariums and I were wanting to get together, maybe in real life, but definitely in the digital meet space. Chief Reap, hello. Lori, I see you on a Monster Fish Gals. Misfit says, Alex, I do have a question when you get a moment. No rush. Yeah, we've got a moment. I've got a couple announcements. Kenny or Danny, what's going on? I'm gonna assume Kenny, cause how are you, man? I'm gonna assume Kenny. How's it going? Fishymon 64 bit. Amy Lou, hello. So good to have you. So good to have you. All right, so I think I'm back down to the bottom. Fireline Neon, love that name. And Terry Pryor, howdy, hello, welcome, come on in. Spirulina, what's up, fish fam? So Yavi Carranza, hello. So we got fish news today. First of all, updating some past fish news real quick. Somebody got shot at Petco over a fish, over not, well, I don't know. There's an article that made it sound, what's up, Jesse? How's it hanging, brother? Um, it it made it sound like they shot each other over a fish argument, over someone having a tougher fish kind of thing. But it's probably some existing thing. It was in Flint, like in between Flint and Detroit. But yeah, and there were pit bulls involved. So I don't know. But it happened in the fish department. So, but in any case, they didn't catch the guy when it happened. Just had the victim who wasn't talking, and now apparently they passed out flyers of the guy and they caught him. So the fish store fire it has been caught, just so you know. Hey Alex, are you doing hey Alex, doing a YouTuber meetup here in Portland this Saturday? If available, get a hold of you. Why you gotta tell me this? Like, well, okay, you gave me some notice. Never mind. I'll shut up. I would love to. I was supposed to get up to Jason's this weekend. And I didn't even make it that far, which as the crow flies, like if I had a boat, I could get to Jason's house to redfish, bluefish. I could get there in, I don't know, 15 minutes if the boat would go 50 knots probably. Like a nice bayliner or something like that. By the way, thank you for the super chat, Danny. Kenny. So I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I was supposed to get with him. But the thing is, with the ferry costs, the gas costs, and then going up there for the day, I want to see him, but with those costs, he's hooking me up. He offered to give me the last of the fish of the lovely, incredible Banshees. He was going to give me the last one because there's only one left. And as much as I want it, it's almost like I think it'd be cheaper for him to mail it. I don't want to risk the fish that way, but he needed it like out of the way quick. So my excuse to him was, I couldn't spend that money until I got paid by YouTube, basically, because they pay once a month, and so now. Yeah, I'm just probably a little tight to come to Portland, but I really would like to. I really would. So, think of me next time. Let me know with like a week or two's notice. It would be awesome. I'd really like to come see that. I mean, like a year or two ago, I talked about Aqua Pros meeting up with Aqua Pros, and although there's a few other folks down there, obviously Ian's down there. So yeah. But thank you for the invitation. If I can convince my wife that it's a group activity, because we have a ton of friends in Portland, then maybe we will come down for the weekend if we just stay with some friends down there. My best man from my wedding actually lives there. Him and his husband live in downtown Portland, so we have a place to stay whenever we need to. And we were thinking about going there for Thanksgiving, and we didn't end up doing it. All right, enough about me. You guys don't care. So what's going on, Derek? How's it going? Welcome. Come on in. So what was the question that was awaiting me? I feel like we had a question that was awaiting me. That I needed to answer that was urgent. Actually, it was anything but urgent. It was so polite. It was the most polite question I've been asked. Since I shaved, I realized I've grown another chin since COVID. Looks real bad from this angle. Like, real bad. Especially with the outline of my little goatee that grows faster. Real flattering. Gonna work on that. Maybe I should only film from, like, an Instagram angle. But how's everyone's fish doing? How's the fishy things? How's life? Let me get my tripod ready to go here. I'm not gonna jitter this whole show away. But we'll jump into the fish news you won't use, which there wasn't a ton published right now. December's kind of a slow time at the beginning of December, end of November. You got Thanksgiving, you got all the holidays basically. So it's not the best time for publishing scientific articles. October was full of them, so that's why we had like 30 different things going on. Hey, Alan Tooth, what's going on? Okay, so I'll wait for the question. We'll get into our first story, and that is the damn dams. So Brazil had put. Okay, let me back up. In 2004, 2005, we weren't allowed to import zebra plecos anymore from Brazil, the L046s, the ones that everyone loves that are expensive. We weren't allowed to import leopard frog plecos. There was a whole list of these critters that we weren't allowed to import. Then they decided, after they protected those animals, they decided to build a damn dam over their habitats, and they flooded 487 square kilometers of the river, like of the delta, turned into a lake. They raised the water 98 meters in some spots. So that's like 300 feet. They totally ruined this little valley. And the Amazon is fairly flat in a lot of it, but the Xingu River is a little farther south, and it's pronounced Shengu actually, spelled with an X, almost like the Chinese spelling would be. But everybody's been smuggling those fish, as well as, so there's the plecos, there's Tucano tetras are another one that are from there. There are also other places. But the L14 or the L046 is the zebra plecos that everyone loves, and are a little tricky to breed. Those are specifically living in that river. That morph is in that river. The Amazon itself is, I came across this the other day and it just blew my mind, is over 68 million years old. So the continents, even though they've drifted around, and there's been connection and disconnection of North and South America, and there's been drifting apart from Africa. If you look at the plate tectonics, South America kind of nuzzles nicely into there. That was like 300 million years ago that everything was one Gondwana land, or Pangea. There were two different masses. One was a billion years ago, one was 300 million years ago. But in any case, long story short, the Amazon is our oldest rainforest. And I didn't quite realize that. I thought for some reason maybe Borneo was that area. And it may be, but it may just not be as vast, so they're not considering that like a whole continental area. They might not be able to date it perfectly and know. But, or maybe there was a period when it drifted up or down from the equator. Anyway, in any case, my whole point is that they have now decided, there's an article that came out. Well, Wheelie Wilcox, how's it going, sir? Um, yes, good to see you, my friend. And Jess, good to see you. The announcement of all announcements. Now, well, 72 people are here, rather than when everyone leaves as I start talking about news. We're doing a home show next Tuesday, or at least I really want to. Nobody hit me up last time. I've got my friend Chase Canton, who I've done an actual tour of his house. It's been 4 years though, so I'm really excited to see his stuff. And Jess of Manes, Tails, Fins, and Furs, her channel, which you can check out too. She's going to be co-hosting with me. Mary co-hosted with me last time. You can check out her channel too. But yeah, I had asked them if they would want to switch off. Like if we do this as an event, ongoing, either we do, 4 or 5 rounds of it in a short period, or we do, I don't know, an episode a month or something, if they would want to switch off at doing the home shows. And you don't need a real special tank to be in the home show. Granted, if we're doing this, it would be cool if you have something like a stingray or something that maybe other people don't have, and we've never seen it on, you don't have a channel or something, and you're willing to come up, or you don't even need to talk, you could just film too. That would be awesome. But if you could get a hold of me dropping a comment. I mean, I see almost every comment that's dropped. So if you do that, then I can respond with an email, or you can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Instagram I can't work very well because I'm a Luddite, but um, yeah, just let me know because I'd love to see it. Any biotope tanks, any aquascaping tanks, immerse, turtles, whatever, anything aquatic in the hobby. Saltwater too. I don't know as much about saltwater, but I'm sure lots of people watching would be interested. So please get a hold of me, and we want to just do like 5 to 10 minute things. Like pick one or two of your favorite tanks, and of course, if people like it, if you have a channel, we'll refer them that way. But if you don't have a channel and people want to see more of you, then there's a good chance we'll probably ask, hey, do you want to do a whole tour? So that's just the thing. If you could get a hold of me, if you want to share, that would be really cool. I would really like that. That would be yay, yay. What could I expect to get from mixing LRB's red and yellow shrimp? I put 6 of each in a 10-gallon, some with rock piles. When I've mixed he's got 2 strains. He's got um, a gold back, like a ridge line one, that is a gold or yellow sakura. They're both neocaridina, and then he's got another one that's a yellow neocaridina that's just a yellow, like pastel yellow. And those ones are more translucent. They're not as opaque, and they don't have the line down their back. But those ones will make Riley or really yellow shrimp. So the clear with the yellow bands, which are kind of rare. So that's the kind of cool thing about that line. And then I think he might even have some that are mixed, like in his Skrittles tank thing. I needed that. I was stuck in traffic, and I thought I'd brought one, and I didn't, and it was sad. Um, so, but yeah, I would expect when I've mixed those, usually what you'll see is a downgrading of the red shrimp when they mix. You'll see the red shrimp starting to get blotchy. And sometimes you'll see that yellow come through for a generation or maybe even 2 or 3 generations. But then they start getting more and more clear and translucent, and then they kind of get tan, and then they kind of get brown with some red yellow spotting, or maybe there'll be one generation that has bands of each and looks awesome, but only 1 or 2 babies out of the group look like that, and it trends back towards um, orangey, tannish yellow and rusty clear colors back until you're pretty wild. Hey Bob, how's it going, man? And Leslie, hello. So that's from my experience what I've noticed from it. But yeah, Alan, thank you so much. $5. He says $5. Um, so yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Stream something came up about plants attacking each other, and I remember doing some research for a customer. Oh, yeah, that's something interesting. So that's allelopathy or chemopathy, and that is when plants. And thank you so much for the super chat, Alan. That's when plants actually fight each other. So, for instance, acacia trees now actually don't need to fight each other, but they need to fight something chemically. And so, fungi and plants have that relationship. Plants and other plants, grasses with trees. So, say there's a bunch of gazelle eating some grass. There's plants and grasses, shrubs and things that actually put out a pheromone or a chemical that then docks with a receptor in the acacia trees and says, we're under attack in this grassy area. And the acacia trees can close their leaves through osmotic pressure changes. And so there's actually a hormone. And so if a giraffe is chewing on one side of the acacia tree, they'll close up and pull the leaf up from the ground. And it's like a sizable, like the whole branch can lift 5 or 6 feet higher, which for a gazelle, that gets it right out of their reach. Giraffe's still going to eat it. Giraffes like to mainly eat acacia. So giraffe might have been a bad example. But plants in general, we don't quite understand what all they do, but we know that cedar and juniper, for instance, they actually put out chemicals that are known to be antifungals. and anti-moth larvals. So like moss balls actually happen to contain some of the same things that cedar does. And what have we done historically to keep moths out of wool clothing? Is we had cedar lined chests and closets. Um, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Douglas Ragsdale says, I bred bettas as a COVID project since stuck at home. One came out with an extra fin between pectoral and anal fin. Have you seen or heard of this? What do you think will develop or cause issues? I have not seen that in a betta. I've seen things like that happen in guppies and in other fish. It's probably due to inbreeding over time, but I would say that you could, as long as the fish is healthy, and you don't mind the trait, and it can, my ethical sense is that it needs to be able to get food appropriately and evade danger slash move around comfortably. And if it can do those things, um, and you don't mind the trait, then let it be. If you like the trait, breed it and see if it's recessive. Cross it back, inbreed it more. So yeah, let's see here. Let's see. Allelopathy. Yeah, we're talking. There are two other parts of that question. Hold on one sec. Um, what did I miss? Black walnut is yeah, black walnut definitely has allelopathy in it too. We just don't know what yes, I have kept Pyro Autosynclus and Bumblebee. Well, I've kept RoboCop, the orange autosynclus. Sometimes they get called Bumblebee. The Bumblebee autosynclus, I don't think is a real autosynclus technically, right? I'm not sure. I was gonna start talking about the stuff in here. William, welcome. The stories, but you guys have questions right away. So, I'm going to give you, the people who came here now to chat and hang out, what you want. I didn't, I apparently didn't answer the question thoroughly. I'm at the bottom of chat now, and there's no going back. When I'm solo, there's just no going back. I'm sorry. So if you say at Secret History Living in Your Aquarium or at Alex, that really helps me see what the question was, and then I can find it if I do need to scroll slightly back. W. Merriam, hello, welcome. And then also William, hello, and Neil, hello. Are there good nano fish especially good for beginners? Yeah, totally. Most nano fish, as long as they don't want super low TDS, are pretty good. TDS, pH, some of the like blackwater fish, like licorice gouramis that are pretty small. Some of the neon blue and neon green rasboras, not the best choice for a first one. But I mean, any of your tetras, like kitty tetras, glow light tetras, reed tetras, ember tetras, uh, pencil fish, although they're a little jumpy. Let's see what else would be good. Cherry barbs are a bit nippy, but if you did your own tank, you could do barbs. You could do, Odessa barbs, cherry barbs, and tiger barbs kind of thing. You have to kind of keep things that are aggressive or mildly aggressive with each other generally, so they hold their own. Or barbs and angelfish, not nano, obviously. But I mean, Batis, super easy to take care of. They don't do a whole lot. Endlers are one of my favorite, male endlers. Just get some male endlers. They're really nice. Yeah, least killifish are great. They're local. Black neons are really easy. Any neon tetra is pretty easy. The I love my tetras. Well, here we'll show you. We'll walk over there real quick. I'll show you the ones that are easy while we're just chatting. And who knows? Maybe if you guys want to hear fish news, we'll hear fish news. But we'll do this. So these are the little reed tetras. kitty tetras, reed tetras, whatever you want to call them. And they're great. They'll school. You can definitely ignore the inch per gallon rule and definitely fit two of them per inch, like two of them per gallon, I would say, in a small tank. So if you have a tank that was a 10 gallon, in theory, you could fit 20. I wouldn't probably do that. I'd say that that is more apt, but you can see how good they are at schooling. They're one of the best schooling nano fish. And Corydora hebrosus as well as amber tetras will school with them too, which is fun. And those are back there. Those are the glow light, the orange or red glow light tetras. There are some other variants on that. And then over here, real quick, we'll show you. I'm not going to go downstairs and show you all the things that you could keep, but these are some nice introduction ones. Jelly bean tetras, they're a cool one. They're green with an orange body. Amber tetras, they're one of my favorites. They're easy to breed too. Celestial pearl danios, any danio is going to be easy, but zebra danio, leopard danio, kythit danio, pearl danio, giant danio, any of the ones that get more than an inch and a half, they're going to be kind of jerks. They're going to probably pick on other fish. The other thing, this is a little pencil fish. Those are a great little nano fish. There's 5 or 6 species that you could keep. Bickford pencil fish or coral pencil fish. Try trilineatus or trilineatus or tristoma. I can't remember. Whatever. But yeah, those are all good ones. And if you want to get cichlids, some of the smaller cichlids you could get checkerboard cichlids. Those are even smaller. But cribs stay pretty small if you get some of the smaller variants of them. But also endlers, like these little Japanese panda endler guppy mixes. The females get a little big. I mean, still not huge. They'll get bigger than that. But the bigger female, she's about a year old, I would guess. And the other ones are the males are full grown. So yeah, you can do quite a few different things with that. Um, but I would say the celestial pearl danios and the erythromicrons are they're my go-to little guys that are shy, but they're very peaceful, very, very peaceful. So yeah, all right, let's see here. Do, 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 do. Secret history. What are thoughts on keeping Congo tetras and neon tetras? I wouldn't do that. I think they'll eat each other. I mean, there's a chance that the Congo tetras would mind their own business and the neon tetras would stay low if you had it planted enough, but I wouldn't do it. I think you're going to lose your neon tetras. But you could do rainbow fish with that. I would recommend those. Congo tetras, African tetras in general tend to be closer to a barb in temperament, if that makes sense, than to South American tetras. So I would highly recommend doing wild, if you're going to do that, if you're going to do any sort of wild African tetra, um, I'd keep it with, a filament barb. Those are really cool. Those are really pretty. Or cherry barbs, or they're a little small. I mean, Congo tetras get a good size. They're one of the larger tetras in the hobby. But yeah, I mean, you could match up most rainbow fish. You could match with them, and they both like oxygenated, moving water with like a power head, lots of O2, stuff like that. Let's see here. Alex, I'm so glad all these people have found you. Yeah, me too. Master Black, hello. What? There's a stream today? Yeah, Tuesdays and Saturdays. Kevin Rosenberg, hello. Alex, my male crib poultry is became. Oh wait, I missed one. Fishbox says secret history. Are sparkling gouramis sensitive much? They like a lower TDS. They don't need a low TDS, but they like a lower TDS. To get them to spawn, they want a planted tank, very planted, and a low TDS. But that being said, no, they're not super sensitive. They need a little bit of minerality with a low TDS, which I know is kind of an oxymoron, but if you can do that, start with RO or really low TDS and only add a little bit of carbonate and a little bit of calcium, like, equilibrium or stability or something like that, just a teeny bit, and then some tannins. That's perfect. Kevin says, Alex, my male crib poultry became very aggressive to my other tetras in my 75. They did spawn, and Fry are in the tank, but he's been really aggressive last week. Any idea why? Yeah, because there's babies. They will die for their babies. They want about a cubic foot of water in volume for maybe a cubic 9 inches. I don't know. And generally though, cribs and Nanochromis, Pelvicochromis, a lot of the chromisis out of Africa, the small cichlids, dwarf cichlids in general, they do these running charges and they'll chase, but then they break it off generally. They're not super, they're not like angelfish in where they actually like will ram in the gills and like kill things hardcore. They don't have teeth that are made for ripping apart other fish or anything like that. So, yeah, let's see here. But I mean, what I would say is I have a couple of videos on breeding them, and what I would recommend is you want to separate them by line of sight. So if you can, in a 75, that's a good sized tank. Cribs are going to stay low and near the scenery, kind of, if you have it. The other guys will venture out. So if you could get a nice piece of driftwood, like that has some forks and twists to it, and put that like in the center or to the left, and then on the other side do like some rock piles with some anubias and like overhangs of rock, and maybe some more stout wood like spider wood or mopani driftwood, something that's like a little more compact compared to like a manzanita or a big branch that would be on the other side. Then that will keep the tetras up in the higher water because they like to weave through the branches and be open in a swimming group. Whereas the cribs want to know what's behind them. They want to have their own back, and they want to be able to zoom with the babies back into safety. But if they've already established a nest, make that their area, like where they nested. Just kind of keep that the same and dress it up. That's my best advice. But some of my breeding videos, I have a lot more tips about how to diffuse aggression, even in like a 20-gallon with them. Alan Tooth says, Alex, just started to breed tangerine tigers. I've bred a few batches that were bluish tint. Have you ever seen that? Yes, I have. I don't know exactly where it comes from, but I would guess that when you get the orange-eyed blue tigers, there's blue tiger shrimp, so I would guess that there is a gene being expressed with that kind of like iridophores. There's also a metallic gene that's exposed more recently, or selected for more recently. But if you like it, select them. If not, cull them. If you want to, if you really want orange, yellow, and red colors, then remove them. Rigel, okay, gotcha. Those cardinals, sorry, I need to answer the things where people say my name and not get caught up into conversations. Let's see here. Red neon, blue eye, rainbow fish. Yeah, the dwarf praecox rainbow fish would go good with a Congo tetra too. Definitely. Hey, Chevy Fish, how's it going? Hey, Roxanne, how's it going? Good to see everyone. Peplin Creek, of course, always good to see you. Let's see. Oh, those plants are off the chain? Well, thank you very much. I try to keep them on the chain. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, I hit 16,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. I'm struggling with how to keep this channel intimate, how to answer your questions, how to stay on topic. Like, am I going to talk fish news during the live stream or not? But what will happen is if we have a live stream like this, I'll just change the name. If we end up just chatting and doing question and answer, I'll just change the name. And for members, I have a list typed up of all the news stories I was going to cover. So if you want to read them, we can still do that. Or I can record like an episode where I don't answer other stuff. Or I could just ignore you. But I feel like, a lot of people only have spare time every so often. And when they catch me, they're excited, or, they can't always catch me. And so I'd like to use my time for you guys as best, as uniquely as I can. You can watch a, a story about something someone else wrote, or you can Google that your own way. Your Google News feed has begun giving you fish news that you can't use, and you love it. Right on, Fishy. Here, Fishy. That's funny. That is funny. I'm adding new plants to my tank every single day. People have plants to give away, and I contact them the moment I hear they have plants to give. Yeah, for sure. Yivo, what's going on? How's it going, my friend? All right. Am I almost at the bottom? Can I catch up ever again? L Dub. Yes, L Dub. Acacia trees can communicate over a football field. 300 yards is what I've read. Through their pheromones, but they also can communicate through potassium ion channel, like little nerve impulses, I guess. In their root system, they trade as many trees do, as Douglas firs do it, and so do pine trees and birch with many mushrooms that are in season right now if you're in the Northwest. But a lot of them have a relationship where they'll trade chemicals also. They'll trade nutrients. So mushrooms usually can't make sugars, trees can. They'll trade them sucrose or I don't know, whatever it is. Probably not dextrose, but it's probably sucrose. And then in exchange, they'll get, NH3 or whatever. Nitrates and nitrites, and actual straight nitrogen that they'll fix later. And they will swap. It's like one of those revolving doors, the way that the cell works. So it's a big line of cells, but then there's a chamber. So it's like two tunnels meeting, and then at the chamber where the mushroom cell and the plant cell meet, it's called a mycorrhizal connection point or node. What you'll see is it taps in, and they interlock, and there's a chamber, and basically that chamber communicates either with water or with a set little protein, enzyme, whatever it may be. But it's almost like a key and a door. So maybe just this shape fits, and then for another tree the shape is like this, so it's not going to fit. Another one it's like this, so it just can't dock with it. But whenever it fits perfectly, then it has whatever nutrients it needed was that size, and that will form, which then allows the other cells to open around it, and they can regulate, which is just crazy because one has a cell wall and one has a cell membrane. So that's very complex stuff going on, and we're just now starting to learn just the tip of it. And speaking of aquatic plants doing that, we have no flipping idea how that works. To be honest, I have been trying to find info on that at the request of a lot of viewers for 2 years, and it's all very very new research. Aquarium Cop, it's so good to see you, buddy. Can't chat, just letting you know, miss you. Well, if you can chat late at night, we're usually around. But I hope you're doing okay. I hope your mom's hanging in there, and you got those classes taken care of and everything, and that you're safe on the beat. Take it easy, brother. All right. Let's see here. Do we actually? Am I going to make it to the bottom? And am I going to tell a fish story? My cherry shrimp colony is getting up to a decent size. How much would you recommend selling them for online or the local fish store? Okay, so if you're gonna sell them shrimp in it, I have a video called "Breeding Shrimp for Profit." I'd watch that. Breeding fish for profit in general. Honey, I'll undo the dishwasher when I'm done here. I had all day to do it, but then I went and got a sponsor at an aquarium store, and I'm a terrible husband and just realized it live on this stream, you guys. So I apologize to my wife. I apologize, honey. She's not happy. Okay, so aquarium shrimp colony is getting to a decent size. Aquarium Co-op, I was going to say, though, Corey has a good video on buying and selling shrimp, or not shrimp, but fish. And I'd say that his tactics are very, very sound. I mean, Guy's making a living off of it. He's very rich, or he's getting very rich off of it. He's good at it. So I would listen to him. But as far as shrimp goes, I know they're different beasts slightly. Don't try to sell them to the store unless you have a bunch of coals. They're just coming in too cheap from Asia, honestly. They're coming in, you'd be disturbed at the prices. So, you know, a blue bolt is $1.25 to $2.50, depending on the grade, is what they'd pay to import them, and that's what your pet store's spending, and then they sell them for 10 or 12. It gets even worse with some of the rarer ones, and more temperamental ones. But as far as neocaradinas, I would sell them locally. If you've got a really good strain, you can still ask for $7 or $8 a shrimp. You just need people who really want a high grade colony, and you need to keep that a top grade colony in tap water. I recommend that's similar. Don't be using RO water and stuff. Keep it simple for the locals, if that's your demographic. Don't acclimate the shrimp to some really unattainable level, that your demographic is not going to be able to replicate. And that's why in general, neocaridina, malawa, tiger shrimp, bamboo shrimp, well, they're hard to breed in freshwater, but why those shrimp, the Balti shrimp, are Pinocchio shrimp, are good shrimp to breed rather than the caridinas. The caridinas are a little more temperamental and tend to get dead when they're cranky. But I mean, if you're gonna sell bulk, I sell the Lucas Bretz ones that won Best in Show for Aquatic Arts about 5 years ago. I've had those for 5 or 6 years, and I've been working on improving the line even more, like even more consistent, bigger shrimp, darker color, brighter blue. I've split them into two groups. The ones that are reallys, I did for a while. So if you have something specialized like that you can demand up to $12 a shrimp. If you have something like yellow Rileys that are really really nice, or something unique, like a blue shrimp that's all clear with just a blue head or something. But if it's just a standard cherry shrimp, you're probably not going to get more than $5. And honestly, I don't buy them unless they're like $3. So, and I've gotten good quality shrimp for that because that's more than the stores are going to offer. But just remember, the stores, whatever they're selling them for, 3 to 4 times cheaper is what they bought it for. So that should set your market locally. If Petco, PetSmart, if that's your market and they're all 6, 7.99 there for Blue Dreams or whatever, I mean, then you've got $8 is basically where you could set your price and have better shrimp than them. So it kind of depends. In a big city, you can get kind of screwed. Thank you, Jamie Lee. I appreciate you saying that. I've been trying, been working, and I'm very grateful for the subscriber count being where it is. Mary, I do not deserve a million. But thank you. Let's see here. How's the house hunting going? I don't want to hear about it. G Bear, no, that's very nice of you. Oh, you put in an offer and it went for 120K over asking. Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening here in Seattle, everywhere. Yep, same story. $500,000 houses going for 650 or 610 or whatever, or they're overpriced and then nobody buys it at first, and then they knock it down to 550 and it goes for 575 even though it's worth 500, or I don't know. Yeah. Secret History Living Aquarium. I like thumbing through the old Fish Magazine episode. Peplin, I do too. What needed to happen was it was pixelating because of the throttling of the stream bandwidth. So I needed to figure out a way to scan that into PDF and then upload it. So that's why I need someone's help figuring out what exactly I need to do to put the computer screen on the stream, I guess, as it were. I might be able to do that through StreamYard, but I have a feeling we're going to have the same problem with text. Text just gets wrecked. All right, let's see here. Abolished Aquatics, hello. Amy Lou, Alex explains how the subplot of Avatar exists on Earth. Oh boy. Hmm. Yeah, there's that. We are ripping away the resources of everything. I was starting to say, and thank you, Amy. I was starting to say that in Brazil they have built, I think it's 42 dams since 1980, and I was looking at it earlier today. There's three that are on hold right now, and the rest are all slated to keep going. And they really don't care. I mean, they want to be completely energy independent, and I can understand that motivation economically for sure. They are already ethanol. They run on sorghum and other crops, sugar beets and sugar cane, and things like that instead of gasoline. But they have been a lot of beef cattle and then a lot of raising other crops, palm oil and things like that. It's not the best area for palm oil, but that's just an example of the kind of thing, or bananas or whatever, that they can fetch more money for than whatever they would grow locally and use. And it's an ugly picture. There is news out of the Amazon. I saw things saying that on average, 73, I think is what it was, 73 indigenous people are killed daily by loggers and miners. So that was one of the news stories, was a thing I was going over. It was this year, how many. It's like an all-out war. So there's people, they're not necessarily all primitive tribes people. A lot of them are on an equivalent of sort of a reservation, um, where they have jungle set aside for their traditional hunting and gathering, and they're allowed to come and go and buy and sell and trade other things. It's their land for thousands of years. Um, and it's such dense jungle that for eons it was too hard for anyone else to subsist. But to them, it's the most plentiful place on earth. And now we're finding these regions being completely flooded by those dams or starved off of water. And in a place where it is dependent on flash flood, everything flooding for, lakes forming that are 100 miles across and 1,000 miles long down the center of a river, where that's essentially the way the wet season works there. All of a sudden now there it's all choppy, and then there's dry areas, and there's the cycle of, I mean, the everything from the hurricanes that happen in the US that hit the Gulf Coast and hit Florida. It is phosphates from the Sahara Desert that gets kicked up into the air. Those microphosphates, as well as nitrite, nitrate, those go up into the upper atmosphere during these big sandstorms that get kicked up. Then they form what we call nucleation points, and those little teeny micro dots, nucleation points up in the sky, this dust that you can barely see. It's only a few molecules of phosphorus, or hydrogen phosphate or something. I don't know what it is, but these things, these different gases, aerosols, and particulate matter up there, then water forms around that. Every raindrop needs a little kernel at the center. It doesn't just form on its own. They just bump into each other and fly around otherwise. So just like a snowflake, every single one has a little piece of something, even if it's one molecule at the center that the water then formed around. And for the Amazon, there is a bigger river over the Amazon in the sky of moisture by metric, billions of metric, or trillions of metric square meters, or however you want to do it, liters, of fluid, of water. It's twice, if not three times, as much water as is on the ground, soaked in the earth and in the plants, is in the sky, in clouds, in the jet stream, and it hits the Andes, and it just rings it like a sponge. And same with the rainforest, the trees transpire just like our aquarium plants, just like they do the air and the CO2 at night, they let out CO2, in the day they let out air. Well, when they do this, they also let out water with it too, or they use water, one or the other, and they are letting that go. And every night there's this change, and that's why you get the thunderstorms at night very frequently too. So you get this very predictable exchange. Well, what happens when you dry up 40 or 50 miles of a stretch that used to be water that was evaporating up? Well, now it's a sink, it's an area where the moisture goes to, and you screw up all those things. You screw up that stuff. But my point was those nucleation points, because of the Coriolis effect, which is what causes water to swirl, in one way. That's what starts the hurricanes, and they can actually predict the size of the sandstorm in the Sahara 3 months earlier than when the hurricane hits. There is a direct correlation to the size of that thing, the size of the storms. They're called haboobs, the sandstorms. Abolished seems to be more bacterial based to me for transfer of nutrients of plants are just living off the death of microbes. Abolished aquatics. Well, there's actual life forms working together. Yes, that does occur. Fish streams, welcome. That does occur. There's tons of bacterial breakdown and exchange of things too. But mushrooms are really good bioaccumulators, fungi. And then in their mycelium, they can distribute that. So if you see a mushroom in a patch and there's like one here and there's one 20 feet that way, but they're all the same kind, they're probably attached by their mycorrhizal mat or mycelium, their hyphae. And their hyphae is the live part of the mushroom. The mushroom is the fruiting body. It's the sexual organ. It's the fruit, like an apple on an apple tree. That's how insignificant it is. You can pick that and throw it away. It's got spores and seeds, which you need, but the hyphae, you could also transplant that. It's a direct clone of the rest of the plant, and it has a very, very elaborate system. And every single mushroom is different. Every single fungi is different. I'm saying mushrooms, but I mean fungi. So mildews, water rots, things like that. They all have different functions. And we have yet, I've said this before, we have yet to investigate a plant in the wild that doesn't have a mycorrhizal relationship once we start looking at it under a microscope and studying the ecology of it all. Thank you, Rigel. He put up a link to the video of grading shrimp, also of how to make money on a shrimp tank. Yes, let's see here. Yeah, right. $1.50 for blue bolts. I'll take 200. Yeah. Well, the thing is though, if they die, it's all on you, and you have to buy 1,000, or whatever. Like that's the wholesale game. Get into transshipping if you want. Demand. What's up? What fish and vertebrates will local fish stores consistently take? Well, that's going to be different in every area. It looks like we're not going to cover fish news today. You guys pout about it in a sec if you want me to know that you don't like that and you want me to still post a video later, like tomorrow or something. I'll just read through it on my own and then post the articles for members, or we can do it another day, whatever. But I think answering questions is going pretty productively right now. We seem to have a lot of people who are curious about things, and curiosity is great. That's terrific. I'm all for this if this is what y'all are cool with. Generally, I like to walk around and show the fish off while that's going on, which maybe we will. Charles Hammett, hello, welcome. But for money, watch my fish for profits videos. But I mean, a black angelfish, there's one that's probably going to sell. But maybe you have a bunch of angelfish breeders. You don't want too obscure a fish. You don't want too common a fish. I would highly suggest that you find someone who can tell you the price that the stores are paying. If you can get that master roster and see what things are, there's a lot of fish that fall in the donut hole that I say, which is over $6 or $7 and under 12. And those ones are kind of a sweet spot where like plecos and corridoras and like unusual corridoras, like not super rare but not super common, like Adolphoi corridoras or Schultzii or Venezuelan orange and blue, or orange and black. Those are great ones to breed. The thing is, you can saturate a market with a specialty fish like that. So I rotate my fish, and I will sell to local stores, but I can make as much selling to 5 people as I sell to a local store with literally 5 or 6 times the merchandise. It's just the store is an assured thing. I don't have to track anyone down. But they give you way worse money than if you're the retail and you control that, and that's where the money's at. So yeah, let's see here. Marion says, maybe do a short video on an article or two this week. I enjoyed those quite a bit, but it's not for everyone. I agree. Yeah, it's dry. It's kind of a joke on the Saturday Night Live thing, but basically, all it really is a jumping off point to discuss things. Like, for instance, tonight, most of the article stories were, I'll just tell you really quick. I had one on zebra plecos being seized at the Manaus airport. They seized 679 of them on a guy, baby plecos. And then also the fact that there was a shootout on the Colombian border, Brazil and Colombia. They thought it was going to be over cocaine. It was over plecos. That's what was at the bottom of their boat, were tons of plecos, not tons, but a few thousand plecos and other fish on a fast boat with the big fast motors that usually it is drugs or guns. And another article was on the dams and the destruction of the environment. Another one was on how they've halted the Corquiado. How do you say it? Cha Chacorreo dam. They've halted one of the pieces of that dam. How many Washington locals are here right now? That's a good question. A StreamYard has a way to do it. Okay, thanks, Muriel. Yeah, I'll figure that out. Trying to get back down to chat. Thanks, Muriel. You're the man. Yes, I have seen the documentary Damnation. I have a friend who helped work on that, actually. When they blew up the Elwha Dam here in Washington, everyone was really skeptical that was even going to work, and the fish are back with a vengeance way quicker than they thought they would be. So sometimes we think we've ruined things forever, and it turns out, Dev, hello. It turns out that we've actually, we're not as I don't know, important as we think we are. Let's see here, Jamie. Peeps Little Sheep, hello. Lost Sheep. BJ, hello. All right, are we gonna get to the bottom? Am I gonna get to the bottom? Is this gonna happen? Hey, Alex, hopefully all is well. Goose Not Maverick, what's going on, buddy? I haven't been able to keep up like I'd like to, but wanted to say hey. Well, it's so good to see you. So good to see you, buddy. Kira, hello. Corridorable. Cute name. Peeps Lost Sheep. Trees transfer nutrients to other trees through mycorrhizal networks. It's pretty bonkers how important they are to ecosystems. Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah, roots act one way, and then, the hyphae or fungal different organisms can act as an intermediary between trees, or they can actually trade with trees themselves, or they can just do things like help protect or wrap the roots in a layer that's safe, and they're mutually parasitic. Elijah the Wolf, what's going on? Oh, pretty Christmas tree. That's due to my wife. She's the decorator extraordinaire. for Christmassy stuff. Randy Roman lurking fish news is good in the background. Well, we haven't really gotten to fish news. Regina, there are a lot of new folks in here tonight, or not new, but like folks I haven't seen in a minute. So good to see you. Like folks S, Dragon Lair, Demand, what's going on? I know that the sense of nervousness is great in Amazon and its reservoirs. I just want to note that the current and previous administrations are not interested in the Amazon's, let's see here, interests. Two of the 21st century Brazilian officials have been prosecuted for corruption in ethanol and dam related incidents. Yeah, they're so far corrupt. There's a documentary that came out probably 15 years ago. No, probably 10 years ago now, called Mandabala. Well, probably 15 years ago now. Okay, I'm getting old. Called Mandabala, Mandabala. It's got a picture of a frog on the front, but it's about well, it's about a lot of things in society, but the corruption that's going on in Brazil and in the capital city and with dams and soliloquy. Hello, pleco business is like arowana business. Yeah, that's true. Um, but yeah, it's really crazy. And then hey, Amy Lou's a Washington local. Good to know. Um, yeah, we don't have the permanence on the world we think we do. Yeah, we can permanently erase a lot of things, but our stuff won't be here forever. You know, the bacteria and the ants will take us over. Speaking of nature documentaries, you should watch Life on Our Planet. Oh, yes, the new David Attenborough documentary. I can't speak highly enough, that talks about his whole life working with the BBC and Radio 1 and other folks. It's got footage of him from like the 40s, the late 40s. What a guy. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, great. You got a link to Damnation, Chevy. Thank you so much. That's rad. Let's see here. Illegal logging, it's an aspect is, yeah, illegal logging is a major thing. And mining, you know, because they'll use arsenic, cinnabar, they'll mine, which has mercury and arsenic and lead in it, and you know they'll melt that down, and then they'll use nitric or sulfuric acid to wash away the impurities, because they're not seam mining like big hard granite. It's like loose conglomerate being sifted out of the earth. Um, oh, here, Fishy. Let's see. The link was trying to post by Damnation by Patagonia here on YouTube. Alex, could I have a wrench? Yeah, here, Fishy, you can have a wrench. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Uh, if it'll let me on the on metal. Okay, here, Fishy. Where are you? Do 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 do. Um. Oh, I'm almost at the bottom. Okay. Oh, it's in top chat. Blast you, top chat. You ruined my life again. Uh, we got the link up, but here, Fishy. Let's see here. Uh, all right. You should be a mod now here, Fishy. You know, you've been around a while. We're good. Zelf, what's going on? Hawaiian local, where's the pineapple emote? Yeah, that's a mango, isn't it? Uh, oh, I need to do also, we need to come up with images for the membership thing. By the way, thank you guys so much for the membership. That makes things more reliable. I hope that they're not showing you ads. I think that's supposed to be the deal, right? You have either YouTube Pro or whatever the hell they call it, Red, and or a membership, and then they don't show you that crap. I have it set up so that you're not supposed to. So let me know if that's not the case. If you pay for YouTube Premium or whatever, and or you are a member and you're seeing ads on new videos other than at the beginning or end, which one, YouTube gets one of those and then the creator gets one, so they're going to do that anyways. And then for non-creators, now they announced that they're going to run ads on channels that aren't monetized. They're going to run them every 8 minutes. So every four, I guess probably every 4 minutes, they could run an ad. Well, I don't know. An 8 minute video is the new length between ads that it needs to be, which just freaking pisses me off. Is Russian the main language of Bulgaria? I don't know. Yes, I literally listen to David Attenborough when I'm falling asleep. He is. I wish he was my grandfather. He has accomplished quite a bit of stuff. Uh, the Greek alphabet, the Cyrillic alphabet, huh? Mm, that's true. Rockford fish keeping. Ad blocker says goodbye to him, but it also says goodbye to you. It doesn't count you as a viewer on my metrics. It says that you're a ghost. It says you don't exist. That, and in theory, you wouldn't get any ad revenue as a creator, but I understand it. You block all you want. It's like stealing music. You do you. I used to have ad blocker and then I got rid of it. But I had ad blocker and then I just do super chats every once in a while to the creators who I really liked. And if I didn't care who they were, they're super big creators making millions, then I didn't care. Okay, let me turn this around, show you what I got real quick. I hope I don't lose y'all, but yeah, it's totally like stealing music, Rockford. It is. You have a service that's online, and the deal is you watch ads for that content. That's what the creator decided too. That is how they pay for it. That's how people get paid for their time. And you're deciding to circumvent that with a service that is against the terms of YouTube technically. So, yeah, it's still just consuming a form of media. I don't care if you do it, but just saying, like, whatever. I had Napster. Okay. So, got this from the fish store. Ugh. Also got a dehumidifier. Gotta set that up for my wife. But I got this from the fish store in Seattle, the oldest fish store. And also, so I'm going to be using this, but I already, I forgot. I also bought a sketchy bag that they ran out into the parking lot and gave me. I got some catappa leaves because I needed some. Even though I use local leaves, catappa leaves are my favorite for shrimp. They're just so predictable. And then I also got, this isn't kitty litter, this is crushed coral. I got 4 pounds of crushed coral for $1 a pound at that place. Totally worth it. But Fluval stratum, I like. It's got minerals. It doesn't have the, it drops the pH a bit, but it doesn't have all the ammonia, nitrogen stuff going on that like a true bioactive substrate would have, like ADA or I don't know, is Eco Complete that way? I think it is. So I used 1 bag of Amazonia aqua soil. Haven't added water yet, but yeah. So I got 8 kilos of the stratum for free, quote unquote, because I said I would mention where I got it, and I do like that store. They buy from actual breeders in the hobby, which is really important, I think, and they actually give a fair price. But I've got this little 10, and I need to escape that. I think I want to put a Pistos in there. And then I've also got this rimless 17.5, which is the same as that one, basically, I think. Might be 2 inches taller, actually. It might, yeah, actually, I think this one is 2 inches taller. But it's so clear, right? You barely see it. So I'm trying to decide if I want to take this substrate. It hasn't been wet or used or anything, but do I take this out and add the other 8 kilos to this, like 15 pounds of it to that, and then build this up? I think that's what I'll do. And then I can run a splitter off of the CO2 here and do the other one here. I think that's what I'll do. But I need to figure that out. I want to do a true carpeted, a crypt and carpet tank, not a big tall tank like all my other jungly tanks are. Oh, and I got a new light too. So I used the Patreon money this month to get a new light. Blinking was gonna drive me out of my freaking mind. If you saw my shy fish video, then you also know that this tank is full of little gobies, and they were hiding, and I've got it worked out. I figured out what they like and how to get them to come out all day long, and they do that, and so do the lizard cats, and they know what color they are. Check this out. They hang out right on the plants that are the color they are. The other one's right up here. There's 3, but they all hang out there. Oh, bladderwort. I hate it. It's gone now. And then in the sand, we got some crypts. But yeah, we got 5 species of gobies living in here now. You can see, I like the way this tank is. It's not a highlight tank. This is actually a really old twin star that got fixed. And then I put the other new tank upstairs. Then here, I cleared out the duckweed on top, and so we can see the new apistos a little better. And I need to figure out, guys, is that the female, as I think it is, and is that the male? If anybody's an apisto expert, I know these ones are different. Can I put acorn caps in my aquarium? Yes. They're a little strong in the tannins, and so be aware of that. And I'd try it out first on a small level. See how much it does to your water. It can drop things a lot. YouTube from Washington, Aquarium Co-op, Bentley, Pasco, Corvus, Bob Steenfott, yep, Secret History. Yeah, we're all here. Trying to think anybody else. Alyssa Bentley is also here, if you guys know her. She's on Corvus's show sometimes. Who else? Jimmy Gimbal, or Schwishky, who works with Aquarium Co-op, and also the Aquarius podcast. That is also, he's now an employee of Corey's, but he lives here too. No more strobe effect. Yeah, so here's the male in my approximation with the nice banded face still. And then with the pectoral fins that are dark, and her colors are fading now. She's less bumblebee spiky like he is. See this? See the spikes in the front of the dorsal? She is less that way usually, and she's starting to lose her yellow, even though they both were bright bumblebee black. And these Banshees, the Inca 50 Apistos, they're so teeny too, and they're like, I mean, probably 4 months old, 5 months. No, they're older than that, probably 6 months old. And so, really interesting fish. I really want to spawn them, so they might get moved. I don't know. The question is to move them. Right now, they can eat all the shrimp they want. They have all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet of Malawa and Golden Nebula Caridina. There are a ton of fish keepers in Tennessee, by the way. You guys are everywhere. And then, yeah, so I have to decide that. This is, by the way, this is Myriaphyllum red. Oh, and then I put the filter back on over here on this tank. And so we've got Episto Opal Episto Borelli here. There's the male. Oh, there he is. The male. And the female, I don't know where she's at, but they don't seem to have paired off this group. They don't interact as much with each other in this tank. But the Danios are going nuts up top there and stuff. But I'm thinking in that tank to put the Apistos. Or I could put the albino cribs because they're not spawning upstairs. But I have to figure out substrate-wise what I want to do. I also really want these barbs to show off more than they do right now. Um, so yeah. Feed the Inca lots of baby brine shrimp. Yeah, I have been. I've been hatching them out. They're pretty much who gets the hobby. I have a hobby shrimp hatchery, and they're pretty much who gets it. Thank you so much here, Fishy. Yeah, I do have some merchandise. You know, I'm gonna do another at least 20% off again sale. Um, the way my prices are already, it is like 20% off of most things on Teespring. But I mean, like that's the profit margin is 20%, and then I give half that away. But when you drop that, it's still like a sliding scale, not sliding scale, but still the percentage. You take 20% off the price, there's still a profit there. It doesn't eat the whole 20% of your former profit. But I'm just saying I don't have enough room to mark it down a ton. I just decided to keep it lower for you guys in general, like to use the more expensive quality shirts and things with like the hoodies with zippers and made with cotton and all that. And cotton cotton poly blend, and to make them the longer lasting rather than just make them the cheap. There's a cheaper one. I think it's like cost me $39.99 for the hoodie itself and printing on both sides through Teespring or something like that, and then they recommend you sell it at like 48 or 52 and make 12 bucks or whatever. But I always lower that number just because I don't think that's needed. I don't think it's fair, and I also don't put my secret history on stuff. I've had requests to, and so I might do a couple that have it, but I think I'm going to continue the tradition of not really plugging my stuff. If people want to tell people where they got the art and that it's affiliated with my channel, then great. But I also think there might be some people who want, you know, an illustration of X, Y, or Z wild fish or a mechanical looking fish without having to say, oh, I watched this YouTuber, you know. So I understand that as well. I'm also thinking about taking this piece of wood and putting it in here. I don't know. Let me know in the comments after the fact what you guys think I should do about all that. Also, my, you know, these guys I'd rather not have in the bowl anymore. I'd rather move them into another rack of 2.5s. 2.5s aren't the cheapest thing in the world, though. The other new addition in this room is the new linear, or not linear pump, but the new pump that's 150 gallon Whisper pump. I'm gonna do a video on it, tell you guys how I think, or what I think of it. Again, pregnant. She's pregnant. They're weird when they're pregnant. These. Is anybody still in chat? My chat has just disappeared, and I'm assuming that you guys either can't hear me and I'm gone, or the chat is not happening. But I'm gonna assume there's an erythromicron. I mentioned them earlier as a nice first fish, as a nano fish. They do hide a lot, but they are a nice peaceful fish. They won't cause any problems. And then these are endlers, male endlers. Also, oh, you can, thank you. I appreciate that, Alan. Okay. Had someone message me. Also, the yellow shrimp from Aquatic Arts that I got, they're doing well. So yeah. Randy Roman, dinner time. That's all good. One Fishy dude, what's going on? Carolyn, what's going on? Alright, I can see everyone again. Father, can you hear me? So yeah, I can see the chat again. Alright. Well, I don't think I'm going to stay on super long tonight. It is a weird bug going on YouTube. There's been a lot of issues with YouTube. This tank is odd. It's been so neglected, and this light is stuck in demo mode. Of course, I have to have a light that's jacked up on every tank, but I have bits and pieces. Yeah, now it's going on lightning mode. I have bits and pieces everywhere, and I have a bunch of things from my drawer of junk that has all different fixtures. I always save every little connector piece, you know, all the little weird stuff, and I think I'm going to use some of that the plumber's tape, the stuff that goes on galvanized or threaded stuff, and then use that because this is not real secure. In fact, it's not secure at all. Yeah. Also, there's a ton of baby shrimp being born in here, and I thought that they weren't for a while, and then out of nowhere, they were so teeny I just didn't see them. They were literally hiding in the moss balls and stuff. So I should have a new flush of these Neocaridina Little Red Riding Hood shrimp soon. Where, I don't know, there were some that I saw that I was going to show you guys. There's one right there that's above its parent, but that's a teeny little shrimp. That's not even a full adult. So, one other aquarium related question. My African dwarf frogs keep uprooting my stem plants. How do I keep the plants in the substrate? I mean, one option is to do a sand cap and then substrate that's soil, or even something like just, fluval stratum or ADA or Amazonia, whatever it is. But to have about 2 inches of that, of the soil substrate, and maybe some gravel at the very bottom, and then to have another inch or two of sand or fluorite above that, and then tuck the roots in. That's one way. And then the roots, once they take hold, they'll really hold in there. Is Little Red Riding Hood related to the really? Yeah, totally. It's actually a really morph. It's we used to throw them out because we were trying to get 2 stripes. But then somebody decided, oh, let's just keep them like that. And so now some of them have just like the tip of their head red, and others have a whole bunch of red. Oh, there you can see the eggs in the saddle on this gal. She's so pretty. Let's see here. Then we've got this one. This is the short-nosed algae eating shrimp. So yeah, they're doing their thing. Whatever. Another thing I need to breed soon, or figure out soon about how I want to breed, is going to be the. These guys actually want to breed. I'm watching them do spawning behavior. The gobies, they need salt water to do that though. But these guys, the longfin tetras that I got from redfish, bluefish, I need to get them to spawn. And they're ready. Like, they're fat in the belly. They're doing really good. They're really healthy. They really like this tank, but they don't like that tank, which is usually how I raise them. I mean, that's how I've done other tetras, neon tetras in the past. So I got to figure out a new approach on how I want to do it. Maybe neutral water is the answer. They may have been bred in neutral water or like 6.0 water, not tanniny water. Blake's Aquatics. Hello from Minnesota. Hello. Any good plecos for a 10 gallon? I mean, you could use a bristle nose for a while. I mean, these are little bristle nose plecos, or a lemon pleco. I mean, they'll hang tough in there for, like, here's one that's about a year old that's grown up in this tank so far. But I would go more towards like a banjo catfish, or one of these red lizard whiptail catfish, or a Synodontis catfish, maybe like a Petricola Synodontis. Those are great. Cuckoo catfish. They're really pretty. They look like little jaguars or leopards. But you could do also, if you had like these little apistos, or some Egazizii, double reds, or cockatoides, or something like that, and then you wanted to do like a Peclotia species, so like a leopard frog, or an L333, or any of the ones that are meat eaters, are generally mainly meat eaters, are generally pretty small. Like, they're under 5-6 inches max, and that takes like 2 or 3 years at least to get to that size. So you kind of have some time to see how they're adjusting, and they hide and just hang out a lot of the time. Anyways, like, I've got a Sultan pleco in here, the little Peclotia type, the Elenquer Sultan pleco, the dwarf one. Any tips on adding a sand cap on an already established planted aquarium? Just throw it on in. I mean, you can not just dump it on the plants so that they fall over, but yeah, just shake it around in after you've washed off the sand, and it'll do fine. Father Fish is somebody who is all for that method. He says throw 2 inches of sand on it, and it works pretty well for him. Alan Tooth, the half beaks have died. I lost all but one. Yeah, I think. Is there even one still? The half beaks died in shipping. Or not in shipping, in acclimation. I talked to Aquatic Arts and I said, I'm really bummed. Like, those half beaks were the thing I was the most excited about. That was what I was excited for in that group. I mean, there's other touchy, fidgety fish in here that are doing fine. I tried splitting them up when they started not doing well. And I put them in this tank, and then I had some upstairs, and then I put some even in the super low pH tank, and they just fell apart. They just started losing their balance immediately, and then they weren't eating, and then they died. So it looks like the last one's dead too. Literally this morning, there was one, and I was like, why is one doing great, and the other ones are all dead? But I talked to Aquatic Arts, and that is the one species of half-beaks. They never were on sale to the public. That batch, I got them by asking for them, and they were in quarantine, and I hurried them out of quarantine. They were selling 2 other species to the public, but the ones that I got there's actually a variation, and they weren't sure if they were going to sell them. And that's why I got them as my free promo. I got 6 of them for free for featuring their other stuff, and they fell apart. They're from an Indonesian island. They're not the celebs or anything. They're the high finned red line half beak. There's also just a plain red line half beak, and yeah, I was really bummed. So it looks like the last one's gone now too. That sucks. Now there's a dead half beak somewhere in here that's full grown. It won't affect the ammonia with that many plants, but I mean, still annoying, still sad, still frustrating. No one wants to grab a dead fish in the tank. I don't know. I gave these guys room the other day. Like, they've got room to hang out wherever. They can go over here now, they can go over there. It's at least 8 inches of clearance for them. And they just are hanging out in their corner. Driving me nuts. But yeah, so I want to get more half-beaks, but I think I'm going to stick with the golden wrestling half-beaks, or the celebes, or celebs, or however you want to say it. The other fish that aren't ever going to have babies for me, I don't think, are these ones, the Kohaku platies. They just won't make babies. And I don't know why. 6 months and they just won't make babies. I've tried them in several tanks. Yet again, they were down there without any filter. So then I thought, okay, double filter. That'll be good. Nothing. So I don't know. But yeah, this tank I'm really happy with how everything was going in there. The little panda loaches, they're doing super well. They're all really healthy. Haven't lost any more of them. Finally, lots of blue dream baby shrimp being born again. Planaria on the glass right there. And if you guys have watched the last few days, that's what I'm feeding those loaches. If I give them food, they do not want the planaria. But if I just never let them have anything but planaria, then they're super excited about baby planaria as their dinner. Yeah. So we got this big old 8 kilos. I'm gonna put that in the I'll just mix it with the ADA, because I have about probably 3 kilos of the ADA, and then put some gravel at the very bottom, or sand at the very bottom, then a little bit of gravel, then this, then maybe sand on top of that. I don't know. Might do a deep substrate iwagumi that can then need a filter, because I think that would be nice. It would look really nice. And then here, I need to kind of gut everything. I did put new aqua soil in not that long ago, so it's kind of been refreshed, but the TDS has crept up in this tank for one reason or another, probably just from evaporation and stuff. But the TDS is at like 50 in here, and it started at like 105. So I want to fix that. It's why the guppies are actually doing okay in here. But I think that my cribs and my tetras would do better without it. And also I need to clean the filter out and get some better filtration, better water movement, and re-up on the CO2. I just, funds wise, I haven't decided to reinvest in the CO2. Whereas that tank downstairs I've had for 2 years, that 20-pound tank's been filled once. But I've also wanted to breed the blue cories, blue pepper cories, and then the Habrosis cories. I really want to breed them again. The plecos downstairs are these lemon plecos. So, yeah, and then I want these albino guys to breed too. So I've thought about putting them in that 10 downstairs. And even the honey gouramis. I don't know. What should I breed next, guys? Got to figure that out. You think you have enough tanks, and then you start thinking about who goes with who. And the problem is I always want a community tank with one or two things breeding. And at this size, it's too populated for anything to survive other than the cribs, some cories once in a while, and the plecos. But my nano tanks, those I can have quite a bit of leeway. Yeah, I know a lot of people have hard TDS coming out of the tap, like 500 or 800 in some places. You can see the Malawi shrimp are doing well, though, which surprises me, because there was the blue gourami in here with them the whole time, and there was also, I only introduced, like, I don't know, 5 pregnant ones in here, and I just moved 5 pregnant ones. I figured that would take care of itself, or be some free food. So, yeah. 190 out of the tap with a 7 pH, that's not too bad because it's pretty neutral, so it's probably pretty innocuous stuff, carbon or something. But yeah, all right, guys, well, I think I'm going to sign off of here. Thank you so much, Super Chatters. Thank you, friends. We'll change it from Fish News, wasn't what we talked about. It's Q&A and chatting. I hope you guys have a great night, and you're taking care of your fish, your plants, the people around you, and yeah. I used to keep newts, Demand. I used to keep a bunch of newts. Yeah, I've had firebelly newts a bunch of times. I've had American salamanders, a bunch of different types of North American salamanders. But have a good night, everyone. Thank you, Super Chatters. Thank you, mods. Thank you, lurkers. Thank you, question askers. Thank you, dreamers, fish keepers. I'll probably be around somewhere tonight in someone's stream, and I'll probably have a video out in a day or two. I've got a couple different things in the works. I got snacks. Thanks. Craig, thanks. And have a great night. Shrimping it. Peace. Yeah, take it easy, guys. If you have a question that I didn't answer, also look at my videos. I have 700 now. I've been on here like 5 years. And yes, it looks like I am getting popular. I have 16,000 subs. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. But last year I had 9,000 at this time. Before that I had 4,000 2 years ago. So it's been a slow and steady climb that's kind of doing this. But there's a lot of videos that I put a lot of time, effort, and research into that have like 300 views. But if you search for the topic, you'll find them. So hopefully that you can do that and check some of the back catalog if you're bored or looking for stuff. But have a good night, you guys. Take care. And contact me about the home show, you guys, please. If you want to show off next Tuesday, 4 p.m. LA time, Pacific time, 7 p.m. Crazy East Coast time. All right, guys, have a good night. I'll talk to you later. And 'tis the season. Binary man, binary man.